Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am your host, Kathy Blaze. I'd like to welcome our special guest, the one and only Kev The Allstar. Come on out.
Hey, how you doing, Kathy?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank
I'm
you
a
for having me.
hugger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, feels like home already.
Okay. Great to have you here, sir.
Thanks for being here. Glad to be here.
Yes. Kev The Allstar.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Phoenix. South Phoenix.
Really?
Born.
Okay.
In the house.
Yes.
Long story, but just born. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kev, I like to always get a little info about who the person is before we get into all that artistic type stuff.
Okay.
So, tell me about Little Kev.
Little Kev.
Little Kev.
Ooh, you want to go way back.
What was it that Kev wanted to do, the young Kev?
You're looking at it. Little Kev has, other than being a billionaire, accomplished pretty much every dream.
Always wanted to be a comedian.
Little Kev freaking saw the woman he wanted to have a baby with, had that, became a Marine, hit the stage as a comic, built lowriders. That's pretty much it. I'll just be checking the bucket list. Bam, bam, bam.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome to do everything that you wanted to do.
We got one life to live.
Yeah.
You better accomplish your dreams. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. So growing up, was there a comedian that you looked up to or that inspired you?
Oh, yeah. Growing up. So, born here, South Phoenix, to my mom and my dad. Thank goodness,
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But no, the comic that I looked up to would be, I want to say Richard Pryor, but mostly when I was younger, I'd watched a lot of Eddie Murphy because Richard was a little bit before my time. But I mean, his lifestyle and his upbringing was more of my life.
Richard Pryor's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know if we want to get into that.
We don't have to necessarily. We can save that for the books that I'll be doing later.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Is that a plan?
I'm cool for whatever. Yeah, actually, I mean, why not? I've had many people suggest, why don't you write a book, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if I was ever to do a book, I would do the first, few chapters or the first book on my mom. Because without her, there is no me.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I like that. You know what? Everybody, I think no matter who the comedian is a piece of Richard Pryor.
Facts.
Yeah.
Truth.
I mean, Eddie was a piece of Richard Pryor.
Absolutely.
So Eddie Murphy was one that, was there any comedians coming from black families, there's always a comedian in the family somewhere. Somebody's in the corner cracking jokes on somebody. Yeah. Was it always you?
Yeah. Or I was the joke, if you want.
Or you were the joke?
Yeah, because, so I'm mixed. I'm black and white, right? My dad's the black, my mom's the white. If you really want to get into it, my dad's African, my mom's Greek.
Oh, okay.
But, so here in Arizona is my black half, and Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah is my white half.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was always that. Here I was the light-skinned brother in the house, so cracking on me.
But you
yeah, so it's all good.
You would be my brother. You would pass for my brother. If I showed you a picture of my brother with his afro,
is that right?
Same skin tone, everything.
Matter of fact, while we're at it, why don't we go ahead and pat that down? I know you like it. Don't be jealous. Don't hate me. Long hair, don't care.
Oh, okay. So, you were the joke. Why were you the joke?
Why was I the joke? I think.
Was it because you being biracial?
I think looking back, yeah. My mom was the family member that fell far from the tree per se.
Oh.
And maybe I was the accent that came from that. So from that style, it was one thing, and it's all good. You know, I love both sides of my family.
Right. Well,
I'm mature now and all
we
that
know
good
God
stuff.
don't make no accidents.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, so just trial and error though. But it was, you know, it's kind of like, especially as a comic, you either laugh at me, laugh with me, just as long as you laugh and I'm doing my job.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Where do you pull your information, your content from? Is it normally from your life?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more of a storyteller, more of a like, here's my trauma, let's laugh at it. You know,
Okay.
I don't want to leave everybody shock and awe or God, that really happened to him. That's so sad. You know, I don't want that. But I mean, Kevin Hart. You know, his first. I don't want to say his first tour because I could be wrong with that. But one of his tours was called "Laugh at My Pain," and just that saying right there is me in a nutshell. I love that.
So is that therapeutic for you? Getting on stage?
Yeah, definitely. It's a healing. You know, but it can also kind of hurt the ego a little bit, you know, because it's instant gratification, you know, or maybe not instant reaction, you know, like, you know, for a fact if it doesn't hit, you know, and you know if it does hit. So it's like, oh, let's rewrite that.
So you hear a lot of comedians saying that most comedians have gone through trauma.
Right.
Okay. Do you think that they're just using that, or if that's truthful?
I mean, maybe back in the day, I think like that was almost like a requirement, you know. But I don't think now. I think as long as you sit down with pen and pad long enough, or your phone, however your style is. But if you can pull something and write, I mean, so you got people that write about politics.
Right.
Like I'm not a political writer, but maybe that's just because my tax bracket isn't big enough yet. So anyway, yeah.
So as a comedian here in Arizona, how are you labeled? Because I know there's some labeled as a clean comedian. I mean, like you just said, there's some that are more political. How would you describe Kev?
You know what? I don't know. I don't even care really. Like, people try to label me and put me in a box my whole life, so you have to ask them, to be honest. I have no idea.
Because you don't put yourself in a box. No. You just whatever.
Let's go, you know.
Okay.
Like, but I would, if I could, I would say maybe I'm a storyteller. You know, I'm not the one-liner comic.
Okay.
I'm not the pop, that rapid, boom, 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 boom. And I try, but that's just a different skill that I'm still learning, you know. But yeah, so.
So, as a comedian, where do you see yourself, say, in 5 years? Where do you want to take this?
As far as it will go, as far as it will take me, as far as fans will support and follow, and you know, and just follow the career. And if I keep escalating to the next level, then thank you.
What is the next level for a comedian? Are you a stand-up comedian? What's the next level?
Shoot, I would say, you know, arenas, you know, selling. I mean, last night, you know, we went to one of the local clubs out here in Phoenix, which is Stand Up Live. You know, and I don't know what the packed room is, but there's easy 300 people in there.
Oh, okay.
You know, so just that, headlining at Stand Up Live, or one of the bigger spots. I mean, I'm
so pretty much that would, one of the next level would be being a headliner.
Headliner,
okay.
A super host, and then also a touring, you know, being hired outside of the state.
Okay. So what's a super host? I've never heard that term.
No, I'm just throwing things out there. I'm like E40. I'll just make up words.
So you just over there throwing out
words. Yes, sir.
You got that comedian not sitting at home going, I ain't never heard of super host. He's just over there making up.
They Googling it right now.
Okay, well, see, you just created something.
Hey, trademark.
Right, super host.
Don't be. You can take it, but don't own it. It's mine.
So, are you known for the afro? Is that a part of your brand?
My swag.
Yes, your swag.
Yes and no. I mean, I rocked a fro for years in high school, junior high, but sometimes braids, twists, jerry curl.
So you don't have a certain look that they can expect from Kev The Allstar.
Not every time. No, you won't see me with my hair out all the time. Like, I mean, just today, I was like, should I do it in a do-rag? Should I put the cap on backwards with the do-rag? But I was like, hey, let's just rock the fro. I've been getting a lot of compliments.
Okay.
If we keeping it real, you know, the last, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months, you know, so
you have children.
I do have a child.
You have one child.
Yeah, an adult.
And so, how does this adult child feel about dad being a comedian?
Oh, you went there. I'm gonna go there. She's always like, just be you on stage. You're funnier when you're
As a
just
girl.
being natural. Yeah, my daughter, she's 25, so
okay.
she's an ASU alumni. Super proud of her. Independent, strong woman. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it makes me feel good. But she supports it. You know, she brings some of her friends out every now and then to a couple shows.
That's my dad out there.
Well, funny thing is, she's like, he's not funny to me because I'm her dad. You know, she's heard it all, she's seen it all, she's lived through some of it.
You know what? Your kids be the haters.
Look, for real. Like, so sometimes when I'm doing, if I got new stuff I'm working on, I'll call her over and be like, hey, I'm gonna come over tonight and chill with you. I got some stuff I want to run past you. If she is slightly just does a smirk, I know I got something real. Because she doesn't laugh at my stuff. Because she knows.
Okay.
I'm her dad. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, my dad. Everybody else thinks my dad's funny, but he's just my dad.
Yeah, that's the way kids are. So, Kev, you know, we've gone through some things this year. Things have been a little slow. And, you know, a lot of people have been complaining about not having work during this year. So how was your, let's say June, how has your month been?
June was a great month. Very, very productive month. I lost count, actually, of how many shows I did in June. It's topped my career so far, the few years I've been doing comedy. Did, three dates with 2 shows back to back, which is, you know, at different venues, too. So jump in the car, head over to the next one, make the time. You know, and sometimes I get kind of butthurt when I got to get right off the stage and run to the next show because, you know, I want to mix and mingle and see the other comics support. But that's my big thing, too. I'm a big passionate person, and I don't know if it's the Marine Corps that did that. But I just think there's something about supporting each other. You know,
I agree with that.
As you're up and coming. So.
Well, I
but
like that
June,
always.
June has been awesome.
Thanks for serving.
Oh.
That is one thing that, too, I feel is such a good thing is that, you know, people take time and come out to support you and come and see your shows. And then there's times where you'll have artists that won't go out and mingle or shake hands or don't want to even take a picture with a guest that wants to do that. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, to each his own. If that's how you do your business, have at it.
How do you handle it?
I want to stay at the door when the crowd's leaving, you know, and say, hey, thank you for coming out. Because, I mean, there's a million places people could be.
Right.
And they chose that spot. Even if they're not there to see me, if there's some other comics guests.
Right.
Just, I think, because I like when I'm leaving, if I'm that person, right? If I'm on the other side, I like to just, hey, thanks for coming out. Oh, yeah, thank you. You did great. You know, that type
they
of
may
thing.
have been coming to see Joe over here, but then they saw you, and now they're your new biggest fan now because they loved what you did up there on the stage. I mean, I think as artists, I don't say we're obligated, but we need to recognize our fans and give them the credit that's due. That's my belief.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. So, what do you think was the change with the increase of work that you saw in June?
Honestly, I think a part of it was me just saying yes and saying no to no.
Okay.
You know, because sometimes I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, I have a show at 7 and you want me to be there at 9, so I can't do that. But this time I was just like, you know what? I heard and calculated the mileage from this spot to this spot. I said, all right, I'll be there. And then I made sure I kept communication with the host or the promoter and said, hey, I got another show, so I'll probably have to leave right after my set. And they were like, that's cool, man. I completely understand. So I think communication is, as they say, key.
Right.
You know,
So you just make time management and making it work. So also we were talking about what's the next step for you, or what's that next level? What does it look like for you? And we've had a few other comedians on the show, and some of them are stepping into acting. How about yourself? What's that, the Hulk?
No, I'm stepping in.
Oh, you're
stepping into you and you. Yeah. No, acting is awesome. You know, I mean, we're acting on stage. We're reliving You know, we're traveling back in time, if you will, to react a character or a cousin or an uncle. But yeah, I've been honored to be in a couple films. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Congratulations.
good. Thank you. Yes.
So,
Feels good. And featured characters too.
featured,
Yeah.
okay.
Not like I don't know the difference as of yet, but I know you have character roles and you have featured character roles, like you know where you're Chris Smith, you know,
Right.
or
Right.
Homeless Man too, right? So
What was your last role?
my last role was Thug 2. Matter of fact, the other one was Cop 2. So, you know, it was like day and night. I'm like, okay, you want me to be a cop, and then in the next movie, you want me to be a thug. I got you. You know, so it's all right.
So, as you stated, being a comedian, you're on stage acting, which you are. I
Right.
mean, you're acting out this story that you're telling. Okay, so do you find yourself bringing that into your acting?
Not necessarily. I mean, because if they're not calling for a Kev The Allstar to be a comic, no. But they're calling me, hiring me, so to be. I mean, take for instance, let's go ahead, if you don't mind, traveling to Instant Karma back in time when I got booked for Thug 2.
Oh, okay.
So the wardrobe called for Thug 2, black from head to toe.
Oh, okay.
I showed up on set. Now, mind you, I'm wearing Converse All-Stars on my feet, all black Dickie suit with a do-rag on. He said, great. We didn't explain that in the email. We love what you got, but it's wrong. We were thinking more like a business thug. Do you have a suit? I went, oh, okay, yeah.
Let me. Like a business.
Because I thought maybe, you know, I was going to get fired or whatever, but I was like, I got one at home, but due to time, they said, no, you're fine. Just go there, come back. So it was all good, but it worked out. So again, communication.
Wardrobe, yes, communication. Wardrobe forgot to put business in front of thug.
Business attire thug.
Business thug too.
Mobster suit thug or something like that. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Okay, that's an important message right there, and that shows how important communication is.
Right.
That really does. So then you were in another film,
Instant Karma, House of Quarantine.
House of Quarantine. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
House of Quarantine was interesting because I think my favorite part of that was watching the stars. You know, I don't want to give the movie away, but one scene, it just showed their amount of dedication because one of the individuals, one of the stars, he unfortunately I don't recall his name, but the number of times that he had to lay on that hot pavement concrete outside in this blazing heat and never complained one time, just scene after scene after scene. It showed like, okay, that's what it takes.
Right.
You know, like that's the type of level I want to get to or past that. You know, Tom Cruise doing all my own stunts.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah.
And that's him doing his job. He's there to do a job.
Right.
So, do you see acting is your next big thing that you want to step into? Start doing more acting?
Yeah,
and getting some of the bigger roles?
I wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah. More comedy, more acting. You know, Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, all of them. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Seinfeld, Robin Williams, the list goes on and on. But how many have started? Like, I'll be one of them. You know, I am technically. I mean, I might not be in everyone's, you know, top of their top 10 or whatever as of yet. But I started in stand-up. And that's just awesome. That's awesome to me.
Right. You mentioned possibly writing books someday.
Yeah.
Do you currently write?
I do write.
You do write now?
I do write, yeah.
Okay, that's the start. Get going.
Yeah, it's, you know, obviously I'll have to have somebody else, the publisher or whatnot, have them.
Yeah, you're your proofreader. And
put it together because it's just going to be a mess if I do it.
So is this your first, if you do, is this going to be your autobiography? Memoir?
Probably an autobiography.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Talk about your life story.
Definitely. My upbringing, my life story. You know, I've already thought about doing it in three books per se. You know, one be pre-military, one during military, one after.
How long were you in the military?
Total is 14 and a half years from start of contract to end of contract.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to got to get like these Vietnam vets, you know, where I know the exact year, month, day, hour, minute, second.
Would you like to play veteran, a soldier in a that type of movie?
Would I like to play?
Yes.
Sure, if the opportunity came. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was actually Colton Dietz, I believe is his last. I think I'm saying his last name right. He actually, that was probably the first film other than being an extra that I was in. I forget the name of that one too. Sorry, but I remember his name. But he had me as a drill instructor.
Okay.
So yeah, that funny story about that was as they're filming, I was playing the drill instructor, but the people who were my recruits had never been in the military. So finally, I just yell out like, "Cut!" Because I'm like left, right, you know, and I yell out, "Cut!" And they're like, "Who?" You know?
Oh, you're ready to get you're ready to get upset.
Yeah, he had to walk over and have some words with me. You know, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I was like, "Sorry." Sorry, I don't know. They're not in step.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a good.
I would have loved to be there to see that.
Yeah. So,
I would have gone, "You're in trouble, Kev."
Yeah, lesson learned. Like things not to do on set, especially when it's not your movie.
Right. So what's next for you? Any new upcoming projects? Any new shows coming up?
We got Control still in the works. Danielle, she's gonna be mad. I'd have to look at my phone, but anyway, that one's still in the works.
Where can our audience find you and they can keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, any social media platform, but you can go to my website, which is kevtheallstar.com. Kevtheallstar.com. I'm on pretty much every social media there is as Kev The Allstar.
Okay, so we can keep up with what Kev The Allstar is doing on his website, social media.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be looking forward to seeing you out there on the stage doing your thing. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey,
it was a pleasure. And thank you for joining us here today at Desertwood Days.